All right, welcome in to our weekly call. I'm so excited. I have spent quite a bit of time on these slides today because there's so much information out there that is conflicting. And I want to make sure that I give you some really good information so you can leave today, have some action steps. And that's what I love about these weekly calls. So I'm going to teach you the 5 R's to deal with chronic pain relief. The 5 R's from beginning all the way to the last R of what I'm going to introduce to you is going to help you rebuild your gut. So we're talking a lot today about gut health. So if you have any chronic pain, consistent bloating going on, fingers hurting, knees, and then you're dealing with some type of chronic disease, which would be like an arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis. Anyway, so this is it. We're going to be jumping in here. Sorry, I'm turning my phone down. I just heard, I got a couple texts. So, okay, let's get rocking here. As you are with me weekly, I do introduce who I am because we do have some new people on the call. And this is a funny quote to me, but I don't know if you know Neil deGrasse Tyson, but he's the guy that's been making it cool, learning about like the stars and science, and a really fun guy. A quote that I want to share with you from him. If you removed all the arteries, veins, and capillaries from a person's body and tied them up end to end, the person will die. Neil is an interesting guy. He's always saying silly things. He's not in the health industry. But when I saw this quote, I wanted to share it because I want you to think about your insides and that you can really have an effect on what's going on the inside. Just because you can't see them does not mean that that you don't have any control over it. So a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about today is what you put in your mouth is going to affect and show up on your body. It's going to affect your mood. A lot of research out there about what you're eating and how your serotonin, remember serotonin is the hormone that makes you feel happy. Do you know that that's produced in your gut? And that's about 90%. So if you're not absorbing your food, then you're going to be not as happy. And so there's that link between the brain and the gut, and they're learning more and more about it, connecting with Alzheimer's, dementia. It is incredible stuff. So let's get right to it. First, I want you to take deep breaths. Let's roll the shoulders back, get your mind centered and focused. If you have anything else in front of you, going through anything, I want you to close it down, stay focused here, and keep the breathing going. Big inhale. And exhale. Bring the shoulders and arms up, stretch and reach. Oh, good. We're going to get through this day, not having that 3 p.m. slump. I'm going to make you feel energetic. Okay, so I'm an author and I love writing. So I have a blog where I talk about belly bloated, sluggish, if you feel sick easily. There's a lot of stuff based on food and connection with your health. I see myself as a food expert, and we'll talk more about what that means. Also, I'm a professional speaker. I've been on Fox 40. I've done retreats, and I have another one coming up next May, which I'm really excited about. And I also work with other holistic practitioners, so I'm always talking about that too. So as a food expert, I have pulled together specific things that I call like my signature tools that I use. Sometimes on Tuesdays, I'll bring them up because it'll be focused on like mental areas, or it'll be focused on, how you're feeling inside. So I have the 10 sabotages that I've put together. And this tool I use to help connect how you're emotionally feeling, mentally thinking that affects you, and how that affects the way you choose the right foods for yourself. I also have a signature fit quiz. You'll see that threaded throughout my website. And through that, you'll find out, where you're stuck, like energy threads through your body. But if you feel sluggish, if you have slow metabolism, then you're going to have issues along the way. And so that's what we're talking about today. But I really connect food as your medicine. I talk about the liver and kidneys, and I really focus in on working out and getting yourself energetically moving too. All right, so this is your refresh and look at your health opportunity today. And it's going to be a little bit different mind shift for sure, because we're going to be talking about 3 different areas. We have so much information to cover today, so just stay buckled down. Now, not everybody will follow through with this today, so I want you to connect with why you're here and the results that you're looking for. And my question is, are you going to be staying here for the full time, not looking at your phone, not going on anything else, just so you can take notes and focus in on what changes that you need to do? And like I said earlier, I'm going to talk about these 5 R's. Each step is going to help rebuild your gut. So where do we start? Okay, so getting to know yourself. The biggest thing is knowing when you're eating, how do you feel? After you eat, do you have more energy, or do you feel more sluggish? Do you feel bloat? When you wake up in the morning, do you have pain in your joints? Because as your body goes through the detox process throughout the night, things are going to get settled in certain areas. So have you been listening to yourself? Do you know if your body is absorbing everything? Are you eating really good? And sometimes you feel like you should have more energy. So start listening to yourself. So what is your daily biggest struggle? And I put here today, bloat, fatigue, pain, anything that you're dealing with. I bet you're dealing at least with one of these if you're here today. And what would you do to get the results, to have a breakthrough, to energetically open up your body? And so as we're talking about, you have this energy flow in your body. So the stuff you're going to learn today will help declog certain parts of your body to help the energy flow to increase your metabolism. And the main area today is your gut. So today we're talking about the 3 tips to looking great and feeling amazing. We're going to talk about the 5 R's to chronic pain relief. And I want to introduce you to Monica. I'm going to thread her through our discussion today because it'll help you know how somebody else has dealt with stuff like this and how she's been able to move forward. And right now, we're getting on Monica's second celebration, because I feel like we have these big celebrations where we lose weight and things are going great, and then we get stuck. And then we reevaluate. And that's what's great about these Tuesday calls, is that you can keep your momentum going by keeping the energy focused on getting results and moving forward. So let's understand why gut health is linked with chronic pain. I'm going to talk about that. That's one of the things. You're also going to understand why, what food you need to cut out. So I very, very seldom tell you what you should cut out. I usually have you doing tests and figuring things out. But today I'm going to do a strong opinion on some food that you should get rid of out of your system. And it's going to be a hard one. So we're going to talk about that. And that's going to be the second section. And the last part is that learning your 5 R's to rebuild your gut health. Okay, so final results for Monica is that she was not feeling very good when she first came in to work with me. And she always had problems with her belly being bloated. And as she'll tell you, and she understands too, that her family, it runs in her family. And a lot of it has to do with just the way that she was raised, from what she was eating and how her body was not happy with it. So she started at a very young age struggling with her gut, not being able to absorb the nutrients or fighting back the bad nutrients that she was putting in there. So she was dealing a lot with, we're at the point where we're thinking it's gluten, but she's done some varying things through her program to help adjust her system. So working out for her has been number 1. And the next part of it is her focusing in on adding more vegetables. As she's been able to do that, it's been giving her big results. And when she gets stuck and she does missteps, it emotionally affects her and brings her right back to how she felt before, but she still has those tools and keeps herself moving forward. So she's lost 5% body fat in just 1 month because she was so stuck that we did some shifts with her food and her working out that it really made a big shift for her. And so things like this can happen. So people will say, oh, you can't lose weight really fast. Don't tell people you can lose weight real quick. But the thing is, what we're focused on today is stuff that can have a big impact on you, that can make you gain weight really quick, that can change how you feel about yourself or how much pain you have in your body. And it's related with all the stuff we're talking about today. So once Monica shifted and she started pulling back those foods that she knew that was not working for her, she was losing weight quick. Her body shifts real quick. So it's ready to lose, but she can easily gain weight if she gets into that misstep area. So understand why gut health is linked with chronic pain. So when your body is unhappy with the food that you're eating, sometimes you can believe that you're eating really good food because everybody says, it's great food. People always tell me, well, I'm eating healthy. I don't know why I'm gaining weight, or I've always been bloated my whole life. So, that's just how my body is. So if you have inflammation, you want to be real careful, because if your body is like your gut is not absorbing the foods that you're eating, and it's seeing those foods as an enemy because it doesn't know how to break it down, and then it makes your arms and your feet and your legs, whatever, bloat, that's a big issue. So if you're bloating every day, you want to think about the future of what's happening with your body, because you have a lot of the cells in the body attacking this food that's coming in, and your body's not accepting it, and it can actually flatten your insides of your gut. Now, I'll talk about that more later on, but you don't want the inside of your intestines to be flat. You actually need these little flora hairs that lift up. They're actually called villi. And the villi is a soft little hairs that absorb your nutrients. But as your body becomes into this inflamed state, that you actually start flattening those hairs down, it's harder to absorb your nutrients. So this is why it's causing pain, inflammation, chronic disease, and the list goes on. Also with this, it's easy to gain weight. So your metabolism slows down. So if your metabolism is slowing down, then that means that you're going to feel unhappy and sad. Also not happy with what you see in the mirror, because your body's going to fluctuate just based on, not knowing the right foods for yourself. So I want you to start really listening to your body as you're eating. So you want to listen to, while you're eating, how your body feels. You should be feeling relaxed. And then also how you feel after, because you want to keep the energy going. So if you feel tired and sluggish after eating, that's an indicator your body's not happy with it. Also, you want to, you're not able to absorb your nutrients, so the body becomes depleted. So you may be taking supplements, you may be eating great foods, but these great foods may not be right for your body. And so your body is not absorbing the nutrients the way that you are expecting them to. So you become very depleted. So when you become depleted, it's really as if you're not even eating good food. So this is important to listen to yourself after each meal. Listen to yourself after each meal. And I'm going to give you some more detail to help you so you can start absorbing more nutrients. But this is what bad gut health is, and it depletes the body, and it's linked with chronic disease and pain. And once you start changing that, the change can happen instantly within a few days. Some people, it takes a little bit longer. So as we went through Monica's journey, she was struggling with a lot of pain on the right side of her body, under her rib cage, all through the right side, and just struggling. And so what would happen was she started working out more and started stretching every morning. And she's kept to eating her foods that she knew was working for her. So it took a while to find out what that was, but she went through like a real intense 3-month coaching program. And what happened was this pain relieved itself from her body, and she was so surprised because she thought, well, I am in my vehicle at least 6 hours a day. This pain I'm just going to have to live with, and it's just part of my life, but whatever. So as she started going through her process, she really learned that she had big changes that happened. She didn't have to live with the stress and the pain, and a lot of it was alleviated through stretching and choosing the right foods for herself so her gut was not so inflamed. Also, she talks about how small her belly has become because just growing up and having these issues, she always had a belly. When she was younger, she was very, very slender, but through puberty and through hormonal shifts, that's when she started having her issues, and she's so surprised on being consistently at the weight that she's at right now. And now she's at her next stage where she's ready to slim down even more. So I always connect not the scale with who you are, but I connect with when you look at yourself, you can kind of see the struggles that you're having. And as you get yourself in alignment, that you start shifting your foods consistently, keeping your mental focus in alignment. And when you do that, that makes big shifts in your body. So your body really represents where you are at this point. So if you fluctuate back and forth in your weight, it means you're not ready to move to the next level. So sometimes you have to work on some mental conditions that you're struggling with. And sometimes that's what keeps you stuck. Well, Monica at this point feels like she's ready to lose more weight because she feels like a lot of the coaching that she's gotten, that she's ready to make those changes again, because there's a lot of fear with change. So working with her gut health has been a big deal, and keeping herself mentally strong has been a really important part. So yeah, let's talk about understanding why. So what food that you need to cut out? So let's help you understand the food that you need to cut out. It is a gluten. Did you already know that? I was I was wondering if you knew before you came in, like, oh my gosh, has to be, well, or it was sugar. Okay, so let's talk about this. Sugar's bad, so that's one thing I just brought up, but let's talk about gluten. Pretty much everything that is packaged, like bread, I think even soda has gluten, pizza, desserts, it's in everything. And what it is, I guess the term gluten, glutei or something like that, is comes from glue. The name originated from the word glue. And what gluten does is it helps bring stuff together and hold it together. So gluten will keep everything together, like bread, any desserts, candy, anything and everything you can think of, so the product does not fall apart or the food does not fall apart. So as we've gone into this mass production of making bread, in a quicker way, the bread would fall apart if we didn't put enough gluten in there. So they've thrown tons of gluten into our food so it can be mass produced. Also, I think it's been about 10,000 years when they started, they meaning the manufacturing this types of food. So 10,000 years is really not a long time for how long we've been here. So when we put gluten in our body, it's basically flattens our stomach. And I'm talking about the inside villi, little hairs that we have. So if we don't have the hairs that are up and soft and ready to be used so it can absorb the food in the body and the nutrients once it's broken down, then you're going to have issues with all these depletions. And this is where you're going to have the chronic disease, arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, even chronic, any kind of chronic disease is connected with gluten. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. And the thing is that there's something that gets triggered when we're eating gluten. There's something that gets triggered, and it's connected with us wanting more. So you know how we say, okay, well, I'm just going to give up bread. And it's like, it's way easier to say it than really truly do it. So think about that we may think of ourselves as being not having enough will power to be able to rid ourselves of this gluten, but it really takes some steps. So today, as I tell you to get rid of gluten, it's something that's very, very intense. And I take people through a weekly detox, and we end up doing full 2 weeks together. But it's a really intense process because you're weaning yourself from gluten. I pull everything back that has gluten in it and focusing in on the whole foods. So willpower is not to blame. It's truly actually chemically your body gets imbalanced. And so that's why bread is so hard to give up. Now there's 300 diseases that are linked with gluten. It's crazy. But the three that I really thought about today, because looking at the clients that I have and the people that I've been working with, is that it's been linked with rheumatoid arthritis, autoimmune disease, diabetes too, but there's so much more, 300 chronic diseases out there, because they're learning about the gut health. And since our body's not absorbing the gluten, they're saying that pretty much everybody is dealing with a gluten issue. And we can go into that just a little bit here. And if that's not happening, then your whole body is affected, your mind and the way that your body works energetically and the metabolism. So you want to be aware of what's happening in your body and what has gluten in it. So gluten is wheat, rye, or barley. And you're going to, if you buy packaged foods, you can flip it around and you can read, and you're going to find something that's going to stick your food together. Excuse me. So I hope that makes sense and gives you the idea of what happens when you keep the gluten in your diet. So I'm going to, by the end of this session, I want to tell you something that's happening in December that I can help support to give you some space away from the holiday food and focusing on gluten-free, because not eating, eating in this new way of not having gluten in your diet is very confusing and kind of scary. And I find that people do not eat enough when they decide they're going to give up gluten. Usually they are, eating very little, like an apple and a handful of nuts or something, and that's what they're eating for lunch, and the day goes on like that because it's confusing on what to eat. All right, so let's talk about the 5 R's to rebuild your gut health. So right now we're standing with that gluten is very hard on your stomach. And they used to believe that you'd have to be, tested to see if you have any issues with like a celiac disease. But there's more tests out there, and blood tests that you can do to see if your digestion is having a problem with gluten in general. And what they're finding out is that 90% of us or more are dealing with gluten. And sometimes we just don't know what the hiccups are in our body. We may find that, that our fingers hurt, or that our feet hurt, or that we just don't feel happy, or we're feeling overly stressed. Well, a lot of that has to do with the food that we have in our diets. And it's not just about like the events that are happening during the day, because sometimes the events become bigger and worse in our mind if we're not already feeling good. So let's talk about how to rebuild your gut health. Remove gluten for 14 days. So through the month of November, you're getting your stuff ready for Thanksgiving, and then you have your other holidays depending on what you are celebrating. If you don't celebrate any of that, usually around foods that are like the holiday food, because you're going to be around with different cultures. And so maybe not right now, today, but maybe in December, in between Thanksgiving and Christmas, you should try and do a 14-day step away from gluten so you can get yourself ready for the last part of December, get yourself ready for the beginning of January, so that you are not feeling like you're starting your year way behind physically and emotionally. but try and work on removing for 14 days. The 14 days is going to help, because within a few days, you may be starting to feel really good. Usually when I take people through this 2-week program, this detox, what they usually do is struggle for the first 3 days. And then after that, their body just feels incredible because they've been relieved of the stress of eating the gluten. And so it just sometimes takes longer though. And so 14 days is a good way to kind of test and see how your body reacts to it. Also, you want to replace the foods that you are eating. So how do you do that? You want to go with whole foods, and you want to restore your digestive tract by doing all of these R's. We're talking about 5 R's. So this all is linked together. So replace food that is whole and healthy that your body's going to accept. So that means eating, figuring out how you feel after, figure out how you are dealing with the food as you're eating it. Make sure that you're emotionally focused on your eating, so all your hormones that help break down the food are very present there, so that you can really start absorbing your food. Also, this is a time where you can start taking some enzymes. I do have clients that take enzymes to help them absorb their food, because your gut carries a lot of different enzymes, which is good bacteria that helps really break down the food, and then so that the villi can come in, the little hairs come in and absorb the food. Now, reinoculate. So you want to reacclimate your body with choosing whole foods. And you're going to do that by learning how to eat the proper way for your body. So again, you're listening to what your body's dealing with. You're learning how to restore the balance in your gut, which is the ultimate, because once you start restoring and balancing, then you're going to be more balanced in your stomach. You're going to have less gas. You're going to be able to break things down more. And then also, one thing I like to work in this area is fermented foods. So you like kosher foods are really good for this. So you can buy anything that says kosher. You can buy non-dairy products that have a kosher to it, so it will help build that gut. And that's how you want to choose the right foods. And this is the repairing time also. So something new that I've added into my programs is I've been studying on herbs and knowing which herbs work really well. What I have noticed in what I've been using, the biggest one is skullcap. And skullcap has been a really good one for preparing the system to help relax the system, the digestion, to be able to slow the digestion down so you're really getting your nutrients and give yourself that time to do that. And when you start repairing, you're going to notice that your body is going to start feeling more rejuvenated, that you're going to have more energy, that your body's going to be less bloated. Now, I don't have myself in here as a testimonial, but I'm dealing with removing gluten from my diet. And throughout the years, I've done this, and I'm finally going through the process of removing gluten just as regular life, not really doing it off and on, because I finally realized after all the testing through the years that this is the issue that I have. And what my chronic disease is thyroid. So I'm hypothyroid, and my belly has been affected a lot since I was a kid when I was eating gluten. When you're younger, your body sometimes kind of sloughs it off. Your metabolism is faster. Things move through your body faster, so you don't always notice it. And when you're younger, there's signs that you can pick up on, though. But as an adult, once you get to your 40s, you're moving all the way up through, 80s, 90s, everything that you are going to be noticing about yourself is that your metabolism slows down. Things are a little bit more sensitive. So this repair time is really important. So the repairing is staying away from gluten when you know that it's not working for you. So this is the stage where you are going to be testing, and you're going to be repairing your system, but you really want to be aware of how your body is feeling, because If you are dealing with anything of any kind of chronic disease and you haven't been able to link these two, this is really important to link these two. So I want you to step in fully, test it out, and see how you're feeling. I know when people are doing the detox and they're away from it, gluten just for 7 days, it makes a big difference with weight loss, with losing inches through the body. And then also you want to rebalance. This is where you're going to give back to your body. And this is your last R here. And rebalancing is important. So yoga and meditation. When I have people usually start in the morning with meditation to get their mind focused and building your strength first thing in the morning is going to build you as a person for the rest of the day. So when we wake up in the morning, if we're not balanced, then we're going to be reactive to our day. So whatever happens, we're going to be upset, or we're going to have a short fuse. When you add in the yoga and the meditation, what it does is it gives you a step back from everything, and it helps reset stuff. The less stress that you have in your system, the more that you're going to have an energy to move yourself forward into having more of a balance so your body can absorb the food. When we're stressed, things slow down, and this is where constipation happens, and this is what happens also when you're eating gluten. When gluten comes through your system, it's known for actually bunging up our body and not being able to go to the restroom, well, not the restroom, but go to the bathroom as much as you should be, and things get stuck in our body, and toxins start absorbing in the system. So rebalancing is important process through the 5 steps of the R's. So adding yoga and meditation is vital for this. All right, so what I like to do every week is say, mirror, mirror. So are you ready to unleash tremendous power of healing that lies dormant within you? So we talked about all those 3 areas, a lot of information. Hopefully you took notes on maybe some ahas or things that you're thinking about. But inside, we have a tremendous amount of power to heal. We want to pull that out. So are you ready to restore balance on all levels of the body, mind, and spirit, since all this gets affected? You've come to the right place. Now remember that the stories that I've shared with you, and also my personal story, that this is not theory. And there's so much out there about diet and what you should be doing. And the biggest step I took today was for you to just cut out gluten for 14 days. But it's like a tester. So I'm not asking you to go on a specific diet. I'm asking you to test some things. And so none of this is theory. A lot of it is scientific research to learning more about your body. None of this is theory. And I've used every single one of these strategies in my personal energy plan. That's why I'm teaching it to you today. So one thing to take with you today is that I'm not extra special. I've really shared a lot with what's going on with me. I don't have access to exclusive resources and tools. I spend a lot of time doing research and studying, and I'm a certified health coach. So a lot of my stuff comes from doctors that have come into the holistic side, or people who have been in the holistic side that truly understand it. And so I just have the signature strategy that works and that I've been sharing with you. So as you see, this has worked for others, but it can for you too. So how do I get the results now that I've tried in the past to do? Now remember, gluten is really hard to step away from. So how do you get in there and really step into something that's a little bit more special? You could stick with being complicated and confusing, but I want to break it down for you and make it simple and make it structured for you, so that it's easy to be gluten-free by learning how to use recipes, learning how to consistently work out so that your body doesn't get clogged. So let me introduce to you Stay Fit through the holiday season. And what this one is about is a 2-week coaching program, and it's about staying your beautiful self through the holidays instead of losing yourself or adding those extra 10 pounds that usually happens. So this is for you if you're ready to add excitement into your workouts. Now, as a certified health coach, I'm also a personal trainer, and I've been doing this since I was 19. So the work, you're going to be getting support with workouts. And the stay fit through the holiday season, this is for you if you're ready to decrease the stress factor. We have big stress through the holidays. Extra parties we're going to, we're eating gluten, which also affects our mind and gets us feeling not so good. This is for you if you're ready to learn weight loss tools to keep weight off permanently. Now, this is a big statement to make, but if you step in and you really take these tools to heart and you make the changes within these 14 days and you get yourself off of gluten and you get yourself feeling fabulous, these tools that you're using, that you learn in this program, you're going to be taking that weight off and you're going to be keeping it off permanently. Now, we may fluctuate here and there, but again, when you start using the tools, just like Monica has, that the weight comes off and you may fluctuate, but you consistently lose as you keep using the tools. So the tools are learning how to eat to support you so that you have no gluten in your diet. You also get workout support. So in the workout support, you get meditation, yoga, you get movement in your body to keep that circulation going, to help the fluids and the hormones get balanced so that we can work with cleansing the intestines in a space where it's working efficiently. Also, you're going to get the holiday stress-free wrangling. So the stress-free wrangling is important because we have a condition called SAD, which is a seasonal affective disorder. And when the sun isn't out as much, our body shifts into a mode where we're not as happy. And so things change for us where we're not feeling so happy. And through this program, we stay focused in those 3 areas. So if stay fit through your holiday season sounds like something that is important to you, that you want to make sure that the beginning of December, that you're really focused and working on yourself so you can get back into the game, start your new year feeling slender and good, I want you to step into this program. It starts December 1st. It gives you time to sign up, get yourself ready. You're going to be getting master grocery lists, you're going to get recipes, and you're going to be getting coaching by me to help you stay focused, and you're going to get a bonus. The bonus is you're going to be receiving my Fit Yoga. And the Fit Yoga is a connection with lifting weights, but also doing yoga. So there's a nice smooth blend, and it's a nice connection to being able to make that next step into your world of I guess the 2016 year. So we're getting you set up for that next year. We're really pretty much to the end of this year. It's crazy. So what I want you to do is go to rhondaliebig.com, holiday coaching program. You see the hyphen in between there. And I want you to sign up. I want you to be part of this 2-week program and get yourself into action so that you're feeling incredible about yourself, so that you're ready to make those changes to fit into your sexy dress. I want you to keep learning the tools and the stuff that Monica's been able to do along the way. And also things that make you feel happy. You're going to be even happier through these 2 weeks because you're going to get full support by me, a holistic health coach. So take a deep breath. Think about what's important to you. Head on over to the page and hope to see you on the other side. You have a wonderful, insightful day.